I came here today to tell somebody you've been distracted for too long. You've let doubt steal your energy, fear whisper lies into your mind, and the noise of the world drown out the power inside of you. But today is the day you take your focus back. Here's an expanded version of Key Point 1 in a powerful and engaging way. Your mind is like soil, and whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, don't be surprised when you find yourself overwhelmed by insecurity and defeat. But if you plant focus, discipline, and belief, your mind will produce strength, confidence, and success. The truth is simple. What you focus on grows, and that includes both the good and the bad. Too often, we underestimate the power of our thoughts. We think of focus as something small, something that happens naturally, but in reality, focus is the steering wheel of our lives. It determines where we go, how we feel, and ultimately, who we become. If your focus is on problems, your life will feel like one big struggle. If your focus is on possibilities, your life will open up with opportunities. It's not about denying reality, it's about choosing where to place your mental energy. Because wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you focus on something, it becomes bigger in your mind? If you dwell on your fears, they start to feel more real, more intimidating. But when you focus on solutions, even the biggest obstacles start to shrink. That's not just motivation, it's science. It's science. Your brain is wired to amplify whatever you give your attention to. That's why successful people don't waste time feeding their fears. They focus on their goals. They don't allow distractions to dictate their day. They stay locked in on their purpose. And the more they focus, the stronger their mind becomes. The problem is, many of us have been focusing on the wrong things for far too long. We focus on the past, on what went wrong, on who hurt us, on mistakes we made. We replay old failures like a broken record, and then we wonder why we feel stuck. But let me tell you something. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. You don't live there anymore. You can visit it to learn, but don't stay there. Your future needs your focus, and as long as you keep looking backward, you won't be able to move forward. Others focus too much on what people think. They let the opinions of others dictate their self-worth. They scroll through social media, comparing their lives to perfectly curated images, and then wonder why they feel inadequate. But listen, what you feed your mind matters. If you constantly feed it comparison, insecurity will grow. If you constantly feed it negativity, hopelessness will grow. But if you feed it focus, if you nourish it with positive thoughts, with faith, with a vision for the future, your mind will become stronger than anything that tries to break you. Now, let's talk about fear. Fear is one of the biggest thieves of focus. It distracts, it distorts, and it drains your energy. But here's the thing, fear only has power when you focus on it. The more attention you give to your worries, the bigger they seem. But the moment you shift your focus to faith, to resilience, to taking the next step forward, fear loses its grip. Fear cannot survive in the presence of focus. Because when you truly lock in on your goals, on your vision, on the life you want to create, fear becomes background noise. It's still there, but it no longer controls you. So, how do you shift your focus? It starts with intentionality. You have to be deliberate about what you allow into your mind, set boundaries. If social media makes you feel unworthy, take a break. If certain conversations drain you, step away. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. A distracted mind is a weak mind, but a focused mind, that's unstoppable. And let me tell you, when you truly begin to focus, everything changes. Your confidence grows because you're no longer distracted by doubt. Your energy increases because you're not wasting it on things that don't matter. Your decisions become sharper because you're not clouded by unnecessary noise. Focus is a superpower, and when you master it, nothing can hold you back. The world will always try to pull you in 1,000 directions. There will always be distractions, always be obstacles, always be reason to quit. But the people who succeed, the people who break through and rise above, are the ones who make a choice. They choose to focus. They choose to water the right seeds. They choose to give their attention to things that strengthen them, not weaken them. And because of that, they grow. Their mind grows. Well, their confidence grows, their life transforms. So today, ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Is it building me or breaking me? Is it pushing me forward or holding me back? Because whatever you focus on, whether it's fear or faith, failure or progress, That is what will grow. Choose wisely. Distraction is one of the biggest enemies of a strong mind. It sneaks in quietly, stealing your focus and leaving you drained, confused, and unproductive. The truth is, your mind is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it becomes weak. And what weakens the mind more than anything else? Distractions, fear, and doubt. When you let them take over, your thoughts become scattered, your confidence wavers, and your ability to move forward is compromised. But when you take control of your focus, your mind becomes stronger, clearer, and more resilient. Many people don't realize how much distractions affect them. They think it's harmless to scroll on social media for hours, constantly switch from task to task, or surround themselves with negativity. But every time you allow distractions to pull you away from your goals, you are weakening your ability to focus. Your energy gets drained, your motivation fades, and suddenly you feel overwhelmed. The mind cannot function at its highest level when it is constantly being pulled in different directions. Fear is another major distraction. It disguises itself as overthinking, second guessing, and hesitation. Fear tells you that you're not good enough, that you will fail, that you should just stay where you are. And the more you listen to it, the stronger it gets. Fear thrives on attention. The more you focus on what could go wrong, the more your mind becomes trapped in a cycle of doubt and anxiety. A distracted mind is a fearful mind because it lacks clarity. It can't distinguish between real danger and imagined fear. But when you train your mind to focus, fear loses its power. You start to see things as they really are, not as your fears make them seem. Negativity is also a distraction. If you constantly feed your mind with negative thoughts, negative conversations, and negative environments, it will weaken you. A strong mind requires discipline, and part of that discipline is choosing what you allow into your mental space. If you entertain doubt, self-pity, and toxic energy, your mind will be filled with those things. And the more you focus on them, the more they shape your reality. But if you shift your focus to growth, gratitude, and solutions, your mind starts to strengthen. You start seeing challenges as opportunities instead of obstacles. You stop reacting emotionally to everything and start responding with wisdom and purpose. Think about a person trying to build physical strength. If they constantly lift light weights and never push themselves, they will never grow stronger. But if they are consistent, disciplined, and focused on progress, their muscles will develop. The same is true for your mind. Every time you fight off a distraction, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you silence doubt and push forward, you are strengthening your mind. And a strong mind can handle anything. One of the biggest lies people believe is that they can entertain distractions and still succeed. They think they can focus on everything and still be productive, but the truth is, multitasking is a myth. The more you divide your attention, the less effective you become. The greatest minds in history, leaders, inventors, visionaries, were not people who did a million things at once. They were people who focused intensely on their goals. They knew that a distracted mind is a weak mind, so they trained themselves to be locked in, disciplined, and purposeful. If you want to strengthen your mind, you must first identify what is distracting you. Is it fear? Is it comparison? Is it procrastination? Is it procrastination? Whatever it is, you have to address it head on. Stop making excuses for your distractions. Stop allowing them to steal your time and energy. You have a choice. You can either let distractions control you, or you can take control of your focus. A strong mind is not something you are born with. It is something you build, and it starts with making a commitment to focus. It starts with training yourself to ignore the noise, to resist the temptation of distractions, and to stay locked in on your purpose. It won't be easy. There will always be something trying to pull your attention away. But the more you fight for your focus, the stronger your mind will become. And when your mind is strong, nothing can shake you. You will walk with confidence. You will move with purpose. And you will achieve things you never thought possible. So today, make the decision, protect your focus, guard your mind. Because a distracted mind is a weak mind, but a focused mind, that is unstoppable. Clarity is one of the most powerful tools you can have in life. A strong mind is not a confused mind. It is not clouded by doubt, hesitation, or distraction. A strong mind is clear, sharp, and intentional, and that kind of clarity only comes from focus. And to sleep. When you are truly focused, your thoughts become aligned with your purpose. Your decisions become more confident, and your life starts to move in a direction that makes sense. But when you lack focus, everything feels scattered. You second guess yourself, you hesitate, and you find yourself stuck in cycles of frustration. Think about a camera lens. When it is out of focus, everything looks blurry. You can see shapes, but nothing is clear. It is frustrating, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot make sense of the image. But the moment you adjust the focus, everything sharpens. The picture becomes clear, and you can finally see details you never noticed before. Your mind works the same way. When you lack focus, everything in your life feels uncertain. You struggle to make decisions, you feel lost, and you waste time on things that do not matter. But when you sharpen your focus, you start to see what is important. You gain clarity about who you are, where you are going, and what you need to do to get there. Many people struggle in life not because they are incapable, but because they are unclear. They want success, but they do not have a clear vision of what success looks like for them. They want happiness, but they have not defined what truly brings them joy. They want to be strong, but they allow distractions to pull them in too many directions. Without focus, clarity is impossible. You cannot expect to move forward when your mind is constantly jumping from one thing to another. You must train yourself to focus, to filter out the noise, and to lock in on what truly matters. Clarity is also what gives you confidence. Have you ever noticed that when you are sure about something, you move differently? When you know exactly what you want, you make decisions faster, you stand firmer, and you are not easily shaken by doubt. But when you lack clarity, every decision feels overwhelming. You hesitate, you overthink, and you allow fear to creep in. A strong mind is not afraid to make decisions because it is guided by clarity. And that clarity only comes when you are focused. One of the biggest reasons people fail to reach their goals is because they keep changing directions. One moment, they want to build a business. The next moment, they are chasing another opportunity. Then they get distracted by something else. They never give themselves the time to fully commit to one thing, and as a result, they remain stuck. Focus brings clarity, and clarity brings consistency. When you are clear about what you want, you stay on course even when things get difficult. You are not easily swayed by distractions because your mind is locked in on the vision. But clarity does not just happen on its own. You must be intentional about creating it. That means taking time to reflect on what you truly want. It means removing distractions and unnecessary noise from your life. It means being honest with yourself about what is working and what is not. Many people live in a state of confusion simply because they never take the time to focus on their priorities. They let life happen to them instead of taking control of their own direction. But if you want a strong mind, you must take control of your focus. You must make time to gain clarity. When you are clear on your purpose, your priorities change. You stop wasting time on things that do not align with your vision. You stop seeking validation from others because you know what you are working toward. You stop hesitating because you trust yourself. Clarity gives you the confidence to take action. It silences doubt, it eliminates unnecessary stress, and it keeps you moving forward. Imagine how different your life would be if you had full clarity on where you are going. If you knew exactly what your goals were and had the focus to pursue them without hesitation. That kind of mental strength does not come from wishful thinking. It comes from focus. It comes from removing distractions, setting clear goals, and making intentional decisions. It comes from choosing every day to direct your attention toward what truly matters. So, if you find yourself feeling lost or uncertain, ask yourself, where's my focus? Am I allowing distractions to cloud my mind? Am I giving my energy to things that do not serve my purpose? Because when you start to focus, clarity follows. And when you have clarity, you have the power to move forward with confidence and strength. Success is not accidental. It is the result of consistent focus, discipline, and effort over time. Athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, and anyone who has mastered their craft all have one thing in common. They dedicate themselves to their goals with unwavering focus. They don't allow distractions to pull them away from what they are building. They don't give their attention to things that weaken their progress. Instead, they channel all their energy into growth, and because of that, they become stronger, wiser, and more skilled. Focus is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. The average person spends too much time jumping from one thing to another. never fully committing to mastery. They start something, but when it gets hard, they quit. They get excited about a new goal, but when challenges arise, they shift their attention elsewhere. They wonder why success feels out of reach, but the truth is, they never stayed focused long enough to reach it. Think about an athlete training for a championship. They don't wake up one day and suddenly become the best. They don't train inconsistently, hoping to improve. They practice every day. They push their bodies beyond limits. They repeat the same drills over and over again until their skills become second nature. Even when they don't feel like training, they show up. Even when they lose a game, they keep going. Their focus is on the goal, not the setbacks. And because of that, they develop strength not just physically, but mentally. Musicians follow the same principle. A pianist doesn't master an instrument by casually practicing when they feel like it. They dedicate hours to perfecting their technique. They play the same notes repeatedly, training their hands and minds to work in sync. But through repetition and focus, they build muscle memory. Eventually, they don't even have to think about the notes. They just play. Their focus has strengthened their skill to the point where it becomes a part of them. The same applies to anyone striving for success. Whether you are building a business, learning a new skill, or trying to improve yourself, the key is consistency. The key is showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. The key is eliminating distractions that pull you away from progress. Focus is a habit, and like any habit, it takes time to develop. But once you build it, it becomes your greatest asset. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to achieve their goals is because they let distractions break their focus. They allow fear to slow them down. They let small failures convince them to give up. They get caught up in comparing their journey to others, wasting energy instead of using it to improve. But the strongest minds, the ones that achieve real success, know how to block out the noise. They train themselves to stay committed, even when motivation fades. They understand that results don't happen overnight, but through persistent effort. Imagine a runner training for a marathon. If they only run when they feel good, they will never build the endurance needed to finish the race. But if they push through the discomfort, if they keep training even when it hurts, their stamina grows. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes effortless. That's the power of focus. It strengthens your ability to endure, to grow, and to keep moving forward. Success is not about talent alone. There are plenty of talented people who never reach their full potential because they lack focus. They start strong but lose momentum. They have great ideas but never follow through. Talent without focus is wasted potential. But even someone with average talent can achieve greatness if they are focused and disciplined. Because over time, focus turns effort into excellence. If you want to succeed in anything, you must learn to protect your focus. That means being intentional about how you spend your time. It means cutting out distractions, saying no to things that don't align with your goals, and staying committed even when progress feels slow. The greatest rewards in life go to those who have the patience and discipline to stay the course. So ask yourself, where is your focus? Are you giving your best energy to what truly matters? Are you consistent in your efforts, or are you letting distractions pull you away? Because success doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you train your mind to stay locked in, no matter what challenges come your way. And when you do that, nothing can stop you. Discipline is the foundation of a strong mind. Without it, focus is temporary. Without it, success is inconsistent. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades, when challenges arise, and when distractions try to pull you away. It is the ability to make decisions based on what will help you grow rather than what feels comfortable in the moment. A disciplined mind is a strong mind because it does not allow temporary emotions, outside influences, or fleeting temptations to dictate its direction. It stays committed to the goal no matter the circumstances. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that motivation is enough to achieve success. They think that as long as they feel inspired, they will stay focused. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. One day, you feel unstoppable, and the next, you struggle to even get started. This is why discipline is more important than motivation. Discipline keeps you consistent even when you don't feel like it. It ensures that you take action, not because you are excited, but because you have trained yourself to do what needs to be done. Think about an athlete preparing for a major competition. In the beginning, they are motivated. They are excited about their goal. But after weeks of intense training, their body starts to ache, their energy drops, and the routine becomes exhausting. This is the moment where most people quit, but the disciplined ones, they push through. They wake up early even when they would rather sleep in. They practice even when they don't feel like it. They stick to their routine because they understand that success is not built on feelings. It is built on consistent effort. Their ability to stay focused is not dependent on motivation but on discipline. The same principle applies to every area of life. Whether you are building a business, studying for an exam, working on a creative project, or improving your health, discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger with discipline. Every time you choose to stay focused despite distractions, you train your mind to be more resilient. Every time you push through discomfort, you increase your mental endurance. And over time, this discipline becomes second nature. Many people struggle with discipline because they give in to distractions too easily. They start a task, but the moment they get bored or frustrated, they switch to something else. They want results, but they are not willing to stay committed long enough to achieve them. This constant shifting weakens the mind. It creates a pattern of inconsistency where nothing gets completed and progress remains slow. If you want to strengthen your mind, you must break this cycle. You must train yourself to stick to what you started, even when it becomes difficult. Discipline is also about making the right choices daily. Success is not the result of one big decision, but a series of small, consistent actions. If you want to improve your focus, you have to be intentional about how you spend your time. That means setting boundaries, eliminating distractions, and creating a structure that supports your goals. It means choosing to read, learn, and practice instead of wasting time on things that do not contribute to your growth. It means developing habits that strengthen your mind rather than weaken it. One of the most effective ways to build discipline is by setting clear goals and creating a routine. Pros. When you have a routine, you remove the need for constant decision making. You don't waste energy deciding whether to work on your goals. You just do it. A routine trains your mind to expect consistency. And over time, this consistency turns into mastery. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to stay focused. But discipline is not just about hard work, it is also about patience. Many people give up because they do not see immediate results. They expect success to happen quickly, and when it doesn't, they lose interest. But discipline teaches you to trust the process. It reminds you that every effort, no matter how small, adds up over time. It helps you stay committed, knowing that true success is built gradually, not instantly. If you look at the most successful people in any field, you will see one thing in common. They all mastered the art of discipline. They were not always the most talented or the most gifted, but they were the most consistent. They stayed focused when others got distracted. They kept going when others gave up. They understood that discipline is what turns goals into reality. So ask yourself, are you disciplined in your focus? Are you training your mind to stay committed even when challenges arise? Because at the end of the day, it is not your motivation that will determine your success. It is your discipline. And when you develop it, nothing can stand in your way. Resilience is the mark of a strong mind. Life is full of obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected challenges, and the ability to push through them is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. A weak mind crumbles under pressure, but a strong mind sees difficulties as opportunities for growth. The secret to building resilience lies in focus. When you are focused, you do not allow failure, doubt, or hardship to break you. Instead, you use every challenge as fuel to become stronger. Many people give up too easily. They start with enthusiasm, but the moment they face resistance, they start to doubt themselves. They see challenges as signs to quit instead of lessons to learn from. But those who understand the power of focus know that setbacks are not the end. They are simply part of the journey. The strongest minds in history did not achieve greatness without struggle. They faced rejection, failure, and adversity, but they refused to let it define them. They stayed focused, adjusted their approach, and kept moving forward. Think about a tree during a storm. A weak tree with shallow roots will be uprooted and destroyed by strong winds, but a tree with deep roots stands firm. It may bend, it may lose some branches, but it does not break. The same is true for the mind. If your focus is weak, any small setback will throw you off course. But if your focus is strong, no obstacle will be enough to stop you. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with resilience is because they focus too much on the problem instead of the solution. When you constantly think about how difficult something is, you drain your own energy. You become overwhelmed by fear and doubt, making the challenge seem even bigger than it really is. But when you shift your focus to solutions, everything changes. You start to see possibilities instead of limitations. You start to realize that every challenge has a way forward. You just have to find it. Resilience also comes from learning how to manage emotions. A strong mind does not allow emotions to dictate its decisions. It does not panic under pressure or give in to frustration. Instead, it remains calm, focused, and strategic. Emotional control is one of the greatest advantages you can have in life. When you learn to stay composed in difficult situations, you gain power over circumstances instead of letting them control you. Think about an athlete during a high-pressure game. If they allow frustration to take over, they lose focus and make mistakes. But if they stay locked in, if they control their emotions and focus on the next move, they can still turn the game around. The same principle applies in life. No matter how difficult things get, you must train yourself to stay focused. You must remind yourself that setbacks are temporary and that every problem has a solution. Another key to resilience is persistence. Many people fail not because they are incapable, but because they stop trying too soon. They give up right before they are about to make a breakthrough. But the strongest minds know that success comes from pushing forward, even when progress is slow. Every great achievement in history was built through persistence. The greatest inventors, the most successful entrepreneurs, and the strongest leaders all had moments where things seemed impossible. But they stayed focused, they kept trying, and eventually they succeeded. It is easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but the real test of strength is how you respond when things are not going your way. Do you let obstacles break you, or do you use them to grow? A strong mind chooses growth. A strong mind understands that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, to improve, and to come back stronger. One of the best ways to build resilience is to remind yourself why you started in the first place. When challenges arise, it is easy to lose sight of your goal. It is easy to feel discouraged and want to quit. But if you stay connected to your purpose, if you keep your focus on the bigger picture, you will find the strength to keep going. A strong mind is built through challenge. It is built through failure, through discipline, and through the decision to keep moving forward no matter what. If you want to be unshakable, train yourself to focus. Train yourself to see obstacles as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that can truly stop you is you. If you refuse to quit, if you stay focused on your goals, nothing can stand in your way. Growth is a continuous journey, not a final destination. A strong mind understands that learning never stops, improvement is always possible, and mastery is a lifelong commitment. The more you focus on growing, the stronger your mind becomes. But true growth does not happen by accident. It requires deliberate effort, self-awareness, and the willingness to push beyond comfort zones. Without focus, growth is scattered, inconsistent, and slow. However, when you intentionally direct your focus toward learning, self-improvement, and skill development, you accelerate your progress and unlock your full potential. Many people limit their own growth because they believe they have already reached their peak. They convince themselves that they know enough, that they are good enough, or that their abilities are fixed. But the strongest minds never settle. They never stop learning, evolving, and striving to become better. Sure. They understand that no matter how much they have achieved, there is always more to learn, more to refine, and more ways to improve. The difference between those who grow and those who remain stagnant is focus. When you focus on growth, you become intentional about what you consume mentally, emotionally, and physically. You choose to feed your mind with knowledge rather than distractions. You seek out new experiences that challenge you rather than staying in familiar routines. You surround yourself with people who inspire and push you forward rather than those who drain your energy. A strong mind does not waste time on things that do not contribute to its growth. It prioritizes learning, progress, and self-mastery above all else. One of the biggest obstacles to growth is fear. Fear of failure, fear of change, and fear of stepping outside of what feels safe. Many people stay stuck in the same patterns, doing the same things, simply because they are afraid to try something new. But growth does not happen in comfort. It happens when you challenge yourself, take risks, and embrace discomfort as part of the learning process. A focused mind understands that fear is not a reason to stop. It is a sign that you are about to grow. Imagine an athlete training to reach the next level. If they only practice at their current skill level, they will never improve. But if they push themselves to lift heavier weights, run faster, or perfect a difficult technique, they gradually get stronger. It is not easy. It requires effort, persistence, and a willingness to struggle. But the struggle is what makes them better. The same applies to mental and personal growth. If you only do what is easy, you remain the same. But when you challenge yourself, when you embrace the struggle, you elevate your mind to new levels. Another important aspect of growth is the ability to take feedback. Many people struggle with criticism because they see it as a personal attack. They become defensive, reject advice, or refuse to acknowledge areas where they can improve. But a strong mind welcomes feedback, even when it is difficult to hear. It understands that constructive criticism is a tool for growth. Instead of avoiding it, a focused mind seeks out feedback, learns from it, and uses it to become better. Self-reflection is also a key part of growth. Without taking the time to assess your progress, you risk repeating the same mistakes and staying stuck in the same cycles. A focused mind makes time for reflection. It asks important questions. What am I doing well? Where do I need to improve? What habits are holding me back? What actions can I take to move forward? Growth is not just about learning new things. It is also about unlearning limiting beliefs, breaking bad habits, and developing new strategies for success. The strongest minds are not just focused on their own growth, they also seek to uplift others. They share knowledge, mentor those who are behind them, and contribute to the growth of their communities. When you help others grow, you grow as well. Teaching strengthens your own understanding, and being surrounded by a culture of growth pushes you to keep evolving. Growth requires patience. Many people quit because they do not see instant results. They expect success to happen overnight, and when it doesn't, they lose motivation. But growth is a process. It happens in small, consistent steps. It requires discipline, persistence, and the ability to keep going even when progress feels slow. A focused mind understands that every small improvement adds up over time. It does not rush the process, it trusts it. So ask yourself, are you truly focused on growth? Are you actively learning, challenging yourself, and improving every day? Or are you stuck in routines that keep you in the same place? If you want to strengthen your mind, commit to lifelong growth. Stay curious, seek knowledge, challenge yourself. Because the more you focus on growing, the stronger your mind and your life will become.